Have a look at this tank. This is my mixed Endler tank. You'll note that the hardscape is quite interesting, with various pieces of creek rock covering the heater and intake of the hang on the back filter. And the plants have grown in. They look quite settled. I do spend time pruning leaves that are hopelessly infested with algae and manually removing hair algae when it shows itself. A couple of auto sinkless don't really do much for algae control, but they are right happy in this tank at a temperature of 72 degrees, which is ideal for Endler's livebearers. This tank, on the other hand, is in a bit of a state of disarray. Recently, I added a female Endler's livebearer to the tank in which I was quarantining a single blue male. I thought I would take a chance on infecting her with whatever pathogens he might carry, if in fact it was the stress of being moved that had caused a previous male that I got from my local pet store to expire. I wanted to try and avoid that stress by adding the female, and the male did chase her about, but the next day he had expired and the female had dropped fry. I didn't realize that she was that close to dropping fry. So I was left with the situation of having a tank with a female and around half a dozen fry that could be infected with some pathogen. I found it unlikely that that pathogen would be transferable to shrimp, so I added Neocaridina davidi, red cherry shrimp, and in compensation for the male Endler that expired, to reimburse me for the Java moss I used to purchase him, and also for another bunch of Java moss I delivered, I obtained 2 bunches of water wisteria from my local pet store, and of course I soaked that in alum solution for 48 hours and took the opportunity to also soak some clippings from plants in my 20-gallon tall tank in the alum solution to rid them of pest snail eggs as well. I added all of these plants to this tank and also put another rock for the hardscape on the left. So once the plants settle down, begin to grow in the shape they want to grow in, I do believe that this aquascape will look quite nice.